Hey everybody, it's your favorite traveler in the entire world, Imani B. I am back. I took a week off to refresh, to relax, relate, release, all of that good stuff. But I am back for another travel talk video. And this one is really important because I feel like people have some misinformation when it comes to traveling, customs, going to other places, what your rights are, what your privileges are. And I think a lot of times, a lot of people need to check their privilege. So this one is gonna be a good video because you definitely wanna listen up. Hit that bell, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And also below, you're gonna see all of my social media channels. Definitely follow your girl, say hello, and let's get into it. So, there was a video that went completely viral about this German man who came into Mexico and ended up in jail. And it sparked this whole thing about corruption and Mexico being corrupt and all of these other like red flaggy, really cringy type of words.
Hey guys, June Pennant here, hope you're all good. Some of you might have noticed that I haven't been posting lately. And this is because I was imprisoned in the Cancun Immigration Center the past 6 days in prison in Mexico. And today I want to share this story or my story to help people in the same situation or to save you to get in the same situation as me. And make people aware of this fucking corrupt system that is going down right now in Mexico.
Now, for those of you who know, even those of you who don't, I spent a lot of time in Mexico going back and forth, especially during this pandemic. I have literally left Mexico, entered Mexico, left Mexico, entered Mexico. I'm a part of different expat groups that are in that area of the world, and also know, how it is that, the immigration process has changed over time in terms of entry and exit into different areas of Mexico. Now, let's establish the fact that Mexico is a country, okay? It is a country that has multiple different entities, right? So Cancun is not all of Mexico. Puerto Vallarta is not all of Mexico. Oaxaca is not all of Mexico, right? There are different areas of Mexico that you can enter and exit out of, okay? Now, when it comes to certain passports, whether it's American, Canadian, and certain European passports, right? We are stipulated a certain amount of time that we are allowed to be in Mexico. Now, what does that mean? In the guy's video, he was saying that pretty much he went online, he saw that he was allowed 180 days, right? But allowed doesn't mean that you have to be given that. Okay, and that's something that people fully do not understand, that when you're going into another country, they get to dictate and decide how long you get to stay. That's just how it works. That's the process. Like, you are not a resident, you are not a citizen, and so therefore there are stipulations for you. That's it and that's all. Those are the rules. He said that he goes through immigration, he told them, how many days that he was staying, that he gets on the bus to go to another city, and that on the bus gets stopped, the police get on the bus, they see that his immigration card has pretty much expired because he was only given, I believe, like 7 days. And obviously y'all can fact check that. I will put the link below so you can see this video. He says, red flag, that he attempted to ask how much could be paid so that he could just extend it, whatever, right? In the process of all of this, he ends up in jail. He ends up without his phone, all of these other things. Somebody snuck a phone into the jail. He was able to get in contact with Canadian immigration, and he was able to get out of jail. I mean, not Canadian immigration, with German immigration, excuse me. And he was able to get out of Mexico and go back home. But in the process, he was claiming, oh, Mexico is so corrupt. They're so corrupt. They're trying to get their money out of us. I met all of these people that were in jail for this amount of time, and this and that and a third, etc. So let's backtrack for a second. When you go on the immigration page, yes, it does tell you that you are allowed the 180 days, as we have said previously. However, in the process of this pandemic, people have really been taking advantage of coming in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And so therefore, customs agents are like, okay, you're staying for 180 days, but you don't have proof that where are you going to be living for the next 6 months? Where's your proof that you're going to be here for 6 months? What is your reason for being here for 6 months? Now, People could say, oh, that's not fair, because they do say that you are allowed 180 days, but it is what it is. That is the process. So some people will get 180 days when you go through the customs. They will write 180 days on your FMM card. So let's get into the FMM card. When the guy is calling corruption and all of these other things and saying that he didn't know how many days he was given, when you are on your airplane, you are given an immigration card. That immigration card has a detachable portion at the bottom that when you go to the customs agent will take your passport, rip that bottom piece off, and they will write a number on that. That is called an FMM card, okay? That card specifically tells you how many days they have given you to be in Mexico. They will write it in pen and marker and whatever it is that they have in their hand, but it will say, I'll actually post pictures of it so you can actually see what the FMM card looks like. And so therefore, there's never anybody that comes into Mexico that has no idea how many days that they have been allotted. Your customs agent will put it on your FMM card so that you know, and not only so that you know, that card is something that you have to travel with you every single where you go to establish that you are within the days that you were allowed to be there. Because they're also going to stamp inside of your passport your date of entry. So any custom or any like patrol or police or anything like that will be able to see, okay, they came in on March 1st. It says that they have 30 days to be here. So if you're there through April 5th, clearly you have overstayed because it says 30 on your FMM card. So the idea that this guy is claiming that he had no idea, he had no clue, well, the same way that he researched and find out that he was allowed 180 days, he should have researched and find out that that's where you find that information of how many days that you are allowed. And the customs agent will tell you to keep that card with you at all times because you need it to get on your flight back home, or you will end up paying a fine. And in his case, you'll end up in jail. So one of the things that, I've noticed is now that more and more people are not being given 180 days. People are given 30 days. People are given 10 days. People are given 7 days. And I think the most privileged and classist part of what it is that he was saying was that when he got stopped by the police and he got pulled out of the bus, is that he was offering to pay them off. You're offering to pay them off, claiming that they're corrupt, right? Using your privilege because you're European, using your privilege to be able to say, oh, I could just pay you these couple of dollars and you could just go away and I can go back to my vacation. No, that's not necessarily how it works everywhere. And that is privilege at its finest to be able to say, oh, okay, well, I'll just pay you some money. I'll give you some euros and you'll go away. That's not necessarily the case every single place that you go in the world. And in the case of Mexico, I think that it's best that you make sure that you have whatever accommodations that is booked for a certain time, but that they are also refundable, because when you enter certain cities, especially Cancun International Airport, which is always flooded, Mexico City, which is always flooded, you know what I mean? Airports like that, major airports that are coming into Mexico, that are constantly seeing people who are in and out, in and out, in and out, you want to make sure that you have a little bit more leverage to be able to cancel anything in the event they give you 7 days when you were planning on staying for 6 months. And it's happened. And I think the biggest lesson here for everybody is that you have to do your due diligence. You cannot blame another entity. And like I said, obviously, every place in the world has some form of corruption. Absolutely. Every place in the world has some form of oppression and oppressive systems where they, keep people from advancing or just marginalized, period. When you're somebody that's coming from a place of privilege and you're coming to an area of a world for vacation or whatever the case may be, it's still your business and it's still your job and your duty as a foreigner, as someone who is immigrating into that place, to make sure that you know all of the ins and outs. The best way that you can do that, if you're all on Facebook, make sure that you search in the Facebook search Expats in Mexico, expats in insert whatever city it is that you're traveling to in Mexico. And you can ask people that have been there, that live there, that have residency, that have citizenship, hey, what are the protocols for this? What do I do in the event of this? And those people who are actually people who are here as they are supposed to be, and I'm not going to say legally because I feel like there's no such thing as being legally in a place, but I will say following the rules and make sure that you do not overstay the parameters of what it is that it's said that you can stay. That's what it is that I will say. And so therefore you ask the people who are there, who are on the ground, who have been there for a while, hey, I need help with this. Do you know how to do this? They gave me this amount of days on my FMM card. Is there a way to extend it? If I don't extend it, will I have to leave the country? Because 10 times out of 10, you will always get an answer. And in that case, they do give you 7 days. Then more than likely, you're going to have to get on a plane, go somewhere else, and come back. Some people choose not to do it. Some people choose to. But this is my thing. Do not cry wolf. Do not cry corruption when you didn't do your due diligence to make sure that you were allotted the number of days in which you planned to stay. Just because it say that it's allowed doesn't mean that it's given. So I hope that that helps you all, those of you who are coming in and out of Mexico, to make sure that you know what that looks like. Because yes, they are cracking down, and I don't want anybody to be in a sticky situation that they don't need to be in. So make sure when you get that FMM card, you look at it, you look at the number that is written on there, you stay within those days, and you make sure you leave within those days with that FMM card, or you're gonna end up paying a fine if you didn't land in jail. So this has been Imani B. I hope this helps some of you. Definitely click the links in my bio. You can see the video of the guy and what it is that his experience was. And like I said, I will never take away from somebody's personal experience, but also everybody has to check their privilege whenever they're going to marginalized places around the world. I will talk to y'all next week. Hit that bell, hit subscribe, and I'm out.